This is the OTB Television Network.
Hello and welcome to this special international edition of Horses and Courses. I'm Jean Wood. We have just finished, or getting to the end of our calendar year, but in Australia it's springtime. They're looking forward to a long season of racing. And we've got some terrific racing to bring to you, primarily from Flemington Racecourse and the Melbourne Cup meeting. But we'll start things out at Moonee Valley and the Cox Plate. This is a Group 1 event. It's got a $3 million purse at the about distance of 1.25 miles. And although it was run on the 23rd of October, pretty close to the Melbourne Cup, which was on the 2nd of November, it was a race that featured a number of horses that were planning on heading into the Melbourne Cup. Let's head to Moonee Valley and the running of the Group 1 Cox's Plate.
Ready, racing. So you think well, trusting Bomb the start on the inside. Wall Street a bit slow to move also, and More Joyous pinged out immediately and she found the lead. More Joyous in front, so you think a length and a half, second at the judge. Luniette Forever third the inside, zipping a neck fourth. 2 lengths Ava Yennis, Wall Street the rail, then Captain Sonador. Shootout third last from Who Got You, and Trusting last of all. So More Joyous had the lead. Out to the 1600 metres, she's a length in front. So you think is second. He lobbed along beautifully early. Luniette Forever, the Macau champion, third the rail. Zipping fourth the outside. Wall Street's got up fifth on the fence from Ava Yennis. Then Shootout, followed by Captain Sonador. 2 lengths away, Who Got You, and Trusting on the rail. More Joyous takes the field out to the 1200 metres turn, a length and a half clear. So You Think second, Luniette Forever, the rails third. 1.5 to Zipping, right on the back of So You Think. Wall Street's on the rails, followed by Ava Yennis, and then came Shootout, Captain Sonador. Who Got You, patiently ridden with Trusting on his inside. More Joyous, 1,000 metres to go, 2 lengths in front. So You Think doing everything right at the moment. Second, a length and a half, Luniette Forever. A half Zipping, a length and a half, Wall Street, Ava Yennis. 2 lengths away, then came Shootout from Captain Sonador as they go around the 800 turn. Trusting the rail, and Who Got You last of all. More Joyous the leader, the sparks about to fly in the Cox Plate now. Zipping's pulled out. So You Think went up and levelled with More Joyous up the side. He's taken the lead at the 600. So You Think by a neck to More Joyous. Zipping right there third, but under extreme pressure. Then Ava Yennis, followed by Shootout, Captain Sonador. Who Got You still a long way back around the turn. So You Think by a length. More Joyous is trying her heart out, but she can't go with him. Then came Zipping, Ava Yennis, Shootout, Who Got You. So You Think with a big lead around the turn, 3 in front from More Joyous. Zipping, Who Got You flashing home on the outside, but So You Think is 3 in front. Who Got You ran to second from Zipping, but So You Think wins his second. So You Think first, a length and a half. Zipping came back, he grabbed second, a half head in front of Who Got You. Shootout 4.
So You Think, a horse who has really put himself into a position of having been considered by some the best horse in training anywhere in the world. He won this race last year as a 3-year-old, and it's early in the year for a 3-year-old to be taking on a race like this. He scored very nicely here under Steve Arnold over Zipping, whose rider, Nicholas Hall, afterward said that he thought he ran into the second coming of Far Lap when So You Think went by him. Who Got You, another horse who's been a very consistent Group 1 performer, now at the age of 5, completes the top 3. The winner, So You Think, is a 4-year-old son of High Chaparral from Triassic by Tights, trained by Bart Cummings, ridden to victory by Steve Arnold. So You Think covers the about distance of 1.25 miles at Moonee Valley in 2:07.45. We'll head to Flemington now for that Melbourne Cup meeting, and of course it is a tremendous meeting of very high quality. We'll start things out with the Coolmore Stud Stakes, a Group 1 for older sprinters.
That's it. Ready to run for the Coolmore. Gates are back, Solar Charge jumped well. Star Witness didn't seem to jump all that well at all down near the inside. And Press Day, I think it is, it's bombed the start too. So some surprises early, and Solar Charge pounced on the front. Buffering got away well. Up there too, looked to be Paraguay not far away from them. Wider out is Soul Handy, and no hesitation is deepest. Star Witness got up behind the leading bunch, followed then by Shrapnel. Further back is Katana, Sistine Angel a long way back in the field. Followed Potions out wide. Press Day is at the tail of the field. He was the horse who bombed it pretty badly. And they're coming now with about 500 left to go. Solar Charge, the leader. A length and a half in front of Buffering. Star Witness, the ruffian down close to the inside with Paraguay. Soul was under great pressure. Katana next from General Truce. They're coming to the 400 metres. And Star Witness bounded up on the outside. Went to Solar Charge. Here's Katana running on. Buffering trying to get through. Soul got hampered for a run. Star Witness was the leader. A length and a half. Katana, Buffering, and a good battle behind these. But Star Witness in front of Katana. Star Witness comes away. Too good for them. Star Witness 2 lengths. Katana. Shrapnel a half a length. Third. Buffering stayed on 4. Then Paraguay Soul, who met trouble. Potion, Sistine Angel, General Truth, Solar Charge weakening.
Star Witness picks up the victory here, and this is a really a nice looking horse, a good looking 3-year-old with a lot of potential, particularly in the sprint distances. Going here over Kurtana, who has a 3-year-old filly. Shrapnel completes the order of the top 3. Press Day, a horse that was well regarded in the betting, kind of blew things at the break. Hopefully we'll be able to return with better performances. Star Witness, winner earlier in the year of the Blue Diamond Stakes. A possible runner who is listed as his connections, trainer Danny O'Brien, mentioning after the race, possible for racing in the UK in the spring. So I would imagine that they are looking at a possible invasion of Royal Ascot, which of course has a couple of Group 1s for sprinters. He clearly handles the straight course very well. In fact, his connections feel that he is better on the straight surface than around a turn. Star Witness, a 3-year-old son of Starcraft from Leona Chiara by Lion Hunter, was bred in New Zealand. He is trained by Danny O'Brien and ridden to victory by James Winks. Star Witness covers the about distance of 6 in 109.97. Next up, we'll take a look at the McKinnon Stakes. Again, a race that often features horses pointing for the Group 1 Melbourne Cup, although it was run literally only 3 days before the Melbourne Cup. Let's head back to Flemington and the Group 1 McKinnon.
He's telling us. So let's join Greg Miles for the LKS McKinnon Stakes.
Areas today, they're off and racing. Trusting jumped evenly with them, So You Think jumped quite nicely in the early part. Desperado away quickly, and he wants the lead early. Red Colossus was away well. Gingadude's going up outside So You Think, who's settling down in the first 3 or 4. Rainbow Starling not far away from them over on the inside, and then Red Colossus at about a length and a half away in the field. Then Sailor Gear as Gingadude has run to the lead. Further back in the field then is Kidnapped, who's over on the rails or near the rails, but shoot out immediately ahead of him as they go to the 1400 metres. Back behind those horses then Metal Bender, and they're trailed by Shocking. Faint Perfume towards the end, and Trusting is last. So they go past the 1400 metres. Gingadude by 2 lengths. Desperado second. Rainbow Starling 2 away third. And So You Think a length and a half away fourth. He settled down nicely there. Shoot out 1 length behind him. And a length further back in the field, Red Colossus. 2 lengths to Sailor Gear, followed by Metal Bender and Kidnapped, and 2 lengths away Shocking. He's about 10 from the leader as they neared the 1,000 metres. Faint Perfume and Trusting together at the end of the field. So they're coming down the side. Gingadude the leader. Desperado a length and a half away second. Rainbow Starling third. So You Think's just beautifully poised fourth, about 3 lengths from the leader. Shootout staying with him on the inside, and then Red Colossus, 1 Sailor Gear, Kidnapped. Metal Bender was next as they neared the turn, and they're on the swing for home now. Further back then, Faint Perfume's dropping back towards the end, and Trusting was second last as they come around the turn, and Shocking third last, starting his move. So into the straight, Gingadude joined by Desperado. So You Think just poised a length and a half behind here. Arnold hasn't let him go yet. Rainbow Starling on his inside. Let's see where's Shocking. He's still only got 3 behind him now. Desperado went to Gingadude. So You Think is moving up with the great purpose now. Here he comes looking for his 5th straight. So You Think at the 200 metres claims the lead, strides away from Desperado. Further back is Shootout, but just have a look at this. It's just beautiful to watch. So You Think wins by about 3 on the line. Desperado. Gingadude held third, just in front of Shootout.
Yeah, that's the same horse. That's So You Think, who had won the Cox Plate on the 23rd. He came back on the 30th and scored in the Group 1 McKinnon. Once again, another particularly strong performance from this horse, who is going to go into the Melbourne Cup as the heaviest favorite in the recent history of the event. Again, a horse that has been considered by some to be one of the leading horses in training anywhere in the world, and he is coming into the Melbourne Cup off of a big win in the McKinnon over Desperado with Ginga Dude back in the third spot. Last year's winner of this race, shocking. The defending champ here did finish up the track, but we'll see where he ends up off of this performance. Faint Perfume, a filly in this spot who had been running very, very well, kind of disappointed. Her connections, trainer Bart Cummings decided to back off of the Melbourne Cup with her as a result. So You Think, a 4-year-old son of High Chaparral from Triassic by Tights from the Bart Cummings yarn, Steve Arnold riding, leads the pack as they head into the Melbourne Cup only 3 days following this Group 1 win in the McKinnon. We'll continue now with the Flemington meet. Next up, it is the Group 1 Victoria Derby, one of the more important races in their spring meeting at Flemington.
The AAMI Victoria Derby. Stand by. Gates are back and they're off and racing. Cosmonaut missed the start on the outside. Retrieve got away well. So did Lucky I'm Barefoot. Rekindled interest broke nicely. And also Yolandi is pushing up on the pace. And there's Almindora driving forward around these and is heading towards the front as they make the bottom turn, and Lion Tamer trapped out wide at the 2,200 metres, and it's Almindora desperate for the lead, and he crossed over in front of Yolandi, got him a little bit tight there. Yolandi tossed his head in the air, Lion Tamer went around him. Then Lucky I'm Barefoot settling fourth, and Rekindled Interest is fifth over on the outside, and they're followed by Retrieve, and back behind them is Kirinata as they make their way up the side of the course, and it's Almindora who made play, a length and a half clear to Lion Tamer. Yolandi 3 lengths away in third. Then Lucky I'm Barefoot fourth, a length and a half away is Rekindled Interest. He's lobbed into a lovely place fifth, and Retriever's right behind him, sixth on the inside, so the favourites are handy to one another. Followed by Kirinata, a length away Smokin' Joey, and then came Presido, a length and a half to shoot off Digital Fortress, and they're being followed then by Cosmonaut. Then came Eulalona, who's a long way back as they go out of the 1,400 metres. Kuda Kalari is behind him, and they were being followed then by Perfect Pex, who's back at the tail end of the field as they make their way, and Tail of Thunder is immediately ahead of him. So in the gloom they race, and Almindoro has the lead about a length and a half in front of Lion Tamer in second placing. Then came Lucky I'm Barefoot, third, a length and a half away. Annette Yolandi over on the outside as they're coming down the side of the course. 2 lengths away, Retrieve, who's on the inside of Rekindled Interest. The favourites together there. Followed then by Smokin' Joey on the inside of Kirinata pulling. And going up is on the outside Digital Fortress, and they're followed further back by Eulalona. Shoot off's a fair way back over on the inside as the field is coming down with about 800 metres left to go. Cosmonaut gives them a start. Let's see, back behind them, Kuda Kalari, and also Cosmonaut. Perfect Pex is last. Up around the turn, Almindoro is swinging for home narrowly from Lion Tamer. Yolandi on the outside. Lion Tamer claims the lead now, swinging for home. Rekindled Interest is into the clear. Digital Fortress is running on. Eulalona's on the outside. Retrieve back near the inside under pressure. Lion Tamer raced away from them early. He raced about 2 or 3, Lion Tamer. From Rekindled Interest, Digital Fortress. Now Retrieve's picking up, but Lion Tamer's away with a long lead. 300 left to go. He's 3 or 4 in front of Rekindled Interest, Retrieve and Digital Fortress. Lion Tamer past the 200. He's 5 lengths in front. Lion Tamer for Huey Bowman. He's got him parcelled up. Lion Tamer racing right away. He'll win the derby by about 6 lengths. And a lovely pose for the photo. Getting up for second, Presido flashed home and grabbed it ahead of Retrieve. Digital Fortress ran fourth.
Lion Tamer picks up the victory in a very impressive 6.5 length win. This is a horse that clearly likes wet conditions, and he got them here as he had in a couple of previous races since arriving from New Zealand in Australia, and clearly handles the conditions very well as he picks up the win over Presido, with Retrieve back in the third spot. Worth noting as well, Retrieve on the pedigree side, a son of Rahi from a Red Ransom mare, so very American looking pedigree for that 3-year-old Australian-based colt. Lion Tamer, a 3-year-old son of Storming Home from Lioness by Generous, hails from the Murray and Bjorn Baker barn. He is ridden to victory by Hugh Bowman. Lion Tamer covers the about distance of 1 mile and 9/16 in 246.43. Next up, it is the 150th running of the Group 1 Melbourne Cup.
Racing the 150th time the Cup's underway. Illustrious Blue a bit slow. So You Think bounced out well. So did Desperado. Zabit jumped away well. Once for Wild on the improve towards the leaders. American just off them, followed by Harris Tweed. Precedence getting over close to the inside. Bucciolati guiding over their heels towards the rail. Shootout was next. Harris Tweed on the improve ahead of him. Campanologist next. And dropping well back in the field at a moderate tempo only was Shocking, who's outside of Linden, and Profound Beauty went back to last. It's Once for Wild going up on the outside of the stablemate Desperado in the early stages. Zabit is third. Harris Tweed was caught wider out, and they followed Mr. Medici. And then came Holberg. So You Think staying one away from the rail within about 5 lengths of the leading horses early. Shootout next to the outside from American. Lucky Day not far away from Choco Trick getting up on the rail. Campanologist Red Ruler followed Illustrious Blue. Then came Bucciolati, Monaco, Consul, Linden caught a little wide as they make their way towards the turn out of the straight. He's followed then by Managar over on the inside. Precedence as well back from Profound Beauty, and then zipping third last. Master O'Reilly, and Shocking from his outside barrier had gone back to last of all. Once for Wild is the leader in the Cup, and he ran along at a good tempo. Jim Cassidy on the mare. Once for Wild by about 3 lengths here. In second placing Desperado, shaded by Harris Tweed. About 1.5 lengths away behind these horses is Zabit, who's handily poised. He's being followed closely in the field by Holberg, who's not too far away over on the outside. On the rails with him is Mr. Medici, and then So You Think about 6 or 7 lengths from the leader. Then Tokai Trick, and they're followed by Shootout, Lucky Day, Illustrious Blue, midfield the rail, American the outside, and then Red Ruler, Bucciolati, followed by Campanologist, Managar, next outside Profound Beauty, being followed by Zipping over on the outside, and then Precedence, Monaco, Consul, Zipping, Master O'Reilly, and Shocking brings up the rear. Once for Wild for Jimmy Cassidy and Gay Waterhouse with a 4-length lead. Harris Tweed, Desperado. Zavita's running fourth, 1,200 left to go. Mr. Medici is fifth, and they're followed by So You Think and Holberg together. Holberg is out 3 wide, 1 to Tokai Trick. He's followed by Shootout, and then the Lucky Day starting a move now. Followed by American, and behind them Illustrious Blue, Red Ruler, Campanologist, Bucciolati, Managar. Profound Beauty, well back in the field is Linton. He's being followed then by Precedence, Zipping, then Monaco Consul, and towards the end still is Shocking and Master O'Reilly. Up to the turn now, Once for Wild, the narrow leader from Harris Tweed, Desperado. So You Think is poised on the outside as they swing around the turn. Next is Mr. Medici. Back behind those horses, then is Shootout ends the lead. They're on the swing for home. And here Desperado trying to get up on the inside. Once for Wild, Harris Tweed, Lucky Day. Tokai Trick stayed on the inside. He's dashed to the front. Here comes So You Think down the outside. With 250 metres to go. So You Think has raced up. American is a danger. Then Harris Tweed. Tokai Trick the rail. So You Think in front. American is coming at him hard. American raced past So You Think, and then the Lucky Day. American for France. Coming right away, American. American is coming away. American Trevian. Scored by 2 lengths for Lucky Day. So You Think has run third.
A very exciting finish, and it was American, a horse that did run for a while in the United States, an American-bred son of Dinah, former U.S.-bred, Australian-owned, trained by a Frenchman, ridden to victory by a Hong Kong-based Frenchman, and a very exciting day for the connections of this horse, who had bought him to run in the Melbourne Cup, really not expecting to win it, but thinking that he looked like a horse that might get them to the Cup. The owner's always interested in having a horse in this particular situation, and obviously not only got into the race, but picked up the victory as well. It's a horse that had run some races here in the United States. He had also been trained in France for a time, so he has been truly quite an American sensation, and it does appear that they are going to continue on with him next year, and hope they're going to get right back here to Flemington on the day of the Melbourne Cup once again. He scores over Lucky Day with So So You Think back in the third spot. Again, one of the shortest priced favorites in the recent history of this event, as obviously So You Think was coming in off of those two 10-furlong victories. Here, the extended distance of 2 miles, perhaps just a little bit past his best, but certainly not a bad performance at all, settling for third. The winner, however, American, a 5-year-old son of Dinah, former from America by Arazi. He was bred in the United States. He's trained now by Alain de Royer-Dupré, ridden to victory by Hong Kong-based rider Gerald Moss. American covers the about 2 miles in 3:26.87. We'll continue now with 3-year-old fillies in the Group 1 Crown Oaks.
So the Crown Oaks field is set. They're on their way. Brazilian Pulse was one of the first to jump out. There's Largo a little slow. She's at 10, got away well. She's up second early, and Kittens is right up there on the speed as Brazilian Pulse is the leader at the turn out of the straight. Kittens on the scene and are outside. Then She's at 10, followed by Hearts Are for Love. Not too far away, Mara Seam, and they're trailed by Sasa. She's trapped a little wide at the turn out of the straight. Placement on the inside. And Shamrock are between horses. Then there's a length and a half. There's Largo, Precious Lorraine, Speed of Dark, and Yosei went back to last. So Kittens has the lead. Brazilian Pulse is about 2 lengths away in second placing, and then 2 lengths in third as She's at 10, Hearts Are for Love. Sasa's off round the outside. She wants to be right on the speed. They've slowed the tempo that much. She's going up with Brazilian Pulse, and they go to Kittens, who surrenders the lead now and goes back to third. Sasa's in front now. She's at 10 running fourth. Hearts Are for Love, 50 inside. Mara Seam a length and a half away. Placements on the rails, and then 2 lengths to Shamrocker. Followed Precious Lorraine, and then trailed Largo, Speed of Dark, and Yosei at the end. So Sasa, once she finds the lead, she scoots away out to the 1400 metres. Wanted to go quicker, and she leads by 4. In second placing, Brazilian Pulse. The favourite running second, a length and a half to Kittens third. She's at 10 fourth. Outside, Hearts Are for Love. 2 Mara Seam, a neck placement. 1.5 Shamrocker, Precious Lorraine. 2 does Largo, and she's followed Speed of Dark and a length away, Yosei. Well, Sasa, with these daring tactics, a half a dozen lengths clear as she heads out to the 1,000 metres, perhaps even a shade more over. Brazilian Pulse, the favourite, has to take the field up in the Oaks. 2.5 Kittens, She's at 10. Hearts Are for Love next to the inside. Mara Seam being followed by placement Shamrocker. Precious Lorraine, they've got 800 left to go now. And then does Largo. Yosei commences her move, and Speed of Dark is back last. They're nearing the turn. Sasa about 3 Brazilian Pulse. A half She's at 10. Running on then is Mara Seam. Kittens the rail from Hearts Are for Love as they corner. Back behind those horses, Yosei is pulled out around as Largo into the straight. Sasa comes back quickly, and Brazilian Pulse pounces on her. So then She's at 10. Kittens getting up on the inside. Further back, Shamrocker coming in placement, putting in a run as well. It's Brazilian Pulse dashing to the lead at the 250. Placement starting a run on down the outside, and then Shamrocker, Brazilian Pulse the leader by a length and a half to placement. Shamrocker coming, Brazilian Pulse in front with 100 to go. Shamrocker's a length and a half away. Brazilian Pulse clear though, and Brazilian Pulse won the Oaks. Shamrocker a length away. Placement 2 lengths third, Kittens 4.
Brazilian Pulse picks up the victory over Shamrocker with placement back in the third spot. Filly, who is now 4 for 6 lifetime, earning her first Group 1. She had won the Wakeful Stakes only 5 days prior at about 2,000 meters and is now pointing for an autumn campaign, which of course represents our spring, including a race like the Australian Oaks, which is one of the most significant races for the 3-year-old fillies in the latter part of their season. Brazilian Pulse, a 3-year-old daughter of Captain Rio from Shahrazad by Tenby, is trained by Michael Maroney, who actually, this is kind of an interesting spot because he is the trainer of a horse we were very familiar with a few years ago named Happy and You Know It, who eventually came to the United States and ran well here as well. And he has indicated that Brazilian Pulse is every bit as good as Happy and You Know It, and she certainly turned out to be a very nice one. For rider Craig Williams, Brazilian Pulse covers the about distance of 1 mile and 9/16 in 241.64. Next up, we'll head back into older company, once again sprinting 6 furlongs in the Patinack Farm Classic.
Racing Black Caviar jumps pretty well near the outside. Hayless seemed to jump out okay. Melito, one of the first to show in the early stages, but it's Eagle Falls up the middle of the track who has the lead. Black Caviar's out deep in second placing. Hayless just off them with Melito. Star Witness stalking Black Caviar. Hortensia second last. All Silent last of all. So they go past the 800 metres and it's now Black Caviar out wide. Eagle Falls close to the middle. Hayless between them. So the two favourites are right up there. Melito tracking them. Star Witness still right behind Black Caviar. Followed by Hortensia and All Silent. Coming down to the 400 metre mark now, and Black Caviar the narrow leader. Schofield getting a little busy on Hayless. Star Witness peels over the heels of the mare. He's a big danger. Melito's putting in a run. Black Caviar still the leader. Malum hasn't really moved on her. She's two in front. Star Witness second. Hayless can't go on. Hortensia runs on. Black Caviar though holds Star Witness at bay. She's unbeaten 8 out of 8. What a champion she is. Black Caviar beats Star Witness by 3.5 lengths. Hortensia third, All Silent four.
This is a horse that you need to get to know if you follow international sprinters. Black Caviar with a very exciting move. She is an unbeaten filly, and in an era right now when we've had some extremely talented fillies, Black Caviar on the sprint side certainly seems to be one of them. She has had a couple of setbacks in her career. She had a muscle pull in her chest, interestingly enough, last year. A little bit of a minor problem with the suspensory. But she clearly is very, very sharp. She picks up the win over 3-year-old rival Star Witness with Hortensia back in the third spot. The winner, Black Caviar, a 4-year-old daughter of Bel Esprit from Helsinki by Desert Sun, trained by Peter Moody, ridden to victory by Ben Melham, who picked up his first Group 1 victory with this performance, scoring only 0.8 of a second off the course record, the 6 furlongs in 107.96. We'll head back to Flemington one more time. The 6th of November stakes feature the Emirates Stakes at about 1 mile.
Dowdow joined them. They're right to go. Racing now. And Rathera jumped away okay. Gold Salute a little slow to move, and so is Palacio de Crystal. One of the first out, Captain Sonador, and going forward there is Sniper's Bullet. He's out looking for the lead, but he's got company. Albert the Fat from out wide and Trusting go up. Albert the Fat takes up the running now from Sniper's Bullet. Trusting. He settles down third, a length and a half away in the field. Captain Sonador in company with Black Piranha. Lunyat Forever the outside. Rathera's holding the rails in that bunch. A length and a half to Sound Journey. Oh, Rathera might have got crattered there. Jocked back right through the field. Sound Journey copped a whack as well. Gold Salute's getting up on the inside. Dowdow Drum Beats the next from Palacio to Crystal Wall Street. Sound Journey trying to balance up next, and he's being followed then by Snow Alert and then Chasm and LA Wonder. Albert the Fat the leader. Sniper's Bullet a neck away coming around the home turn. A length and a half to Trusting. Lunyat Forever right behind them. Captain Sonador and Black Piranha. Dowdow's off the track, followed by Drum Beats. Wall Street's out very wide when they corner. Further back, Rathera trying to recover. Then came Snow Alert. They're on the swing for home now in the Emirates. Sniper's Bullet went up and took the lead from Albert the Fat. Trusting is right there. Wider Lunyat Forever. Dowdow. They're followed by Captain Sonador, Black Piranha, Wall Street coming down the outside, and then came Chasm. Dowdow out wide and Lunyat Forever with Trusting. They get the Sniper's Bullet. Here's Wall Street coming and Chasm starting to join in now. Wall Street, Dowdow, Lunyat Forever. Chasm coming at them. It's Wall Street, Dowdow, Lunyat Forever, Trusting and Chasm. There's about 5 across the track. Wall Street poked his nose in front. Wall Street, give it to Wall Street in the photo finish from Dowdow, Lunyat Forever or Chasm.
Wall Street picks up the win, a nice performance, and it was nice to see a group of older horses in here continuing to do well. Wall Street, 6 years old, scores over the 7-year-old campaigner Dowdow, with Chasm also age 6 back in the third spot. Wall Street, one of New Zealand's leading runners, disappointed in the Cox Plate with a little bit of a slow start, but got back on track with the blinkers on, a little bit of a drop back in distance. They added a tongue tie as well. It seemed to move him up quite nicely. Wall Street, a 6-year-old gelded son of Montjou from Villa Wanda by Grand Lodge, trained by Jeff Linz and ridden to victory by Hugh Bowman. Covers the about distance of 1 mile in 136.73. We'll pause for a brief message. When we return, we'll be leaving Australia and heading to Asia with a stop first in Japan with a number of terrific autumn features there. Please stay with us. Welcome back to International Horses and Courses. I'm Jean Wood. We will continue now with racing action from Japan. They have a bit of a lull during the warm season in Japan, but they come back in the fall and right over the wintertime with some terrific racing. And we are going to head first to Kyoto Racecourse and fillies and mares in the Queen Elizabeth II Commemorative Cup at about 1 mile and 3/8.
Saint-Emilion Toei racing in the QE2 Cup for 2010. They got away fairly well. A little out the back was Saint-Emilion. Toei at the start, but now settles into stride. Seraphic Romp is the first one to go to the lead. Here goes Brightia Pulse from gate 8 switching over, and TM Procure you would think will hustle up underneath them to go to the lead early past the winning post the first time. TM Procure and Seraphic Romp, they're two roughies of the race, leading the way from Brightia Pulse. Getting over quickly from an outside gate was Little Amapola. Apapane up along the fence. I don't know if that's the place to be, but handy to these leaders. Along the fence, Columbus Circle. Snow Ferry tracks Apapane. Then comes Animate Bio, followed by Ave, trapped out 3 wide. Castellano has her going forward. Then Meisho Beluga midfield from Saint-Emilion. Hikaru Amaranthus. Then comes Mood Indigo from Reginetta. A gap back to her on the inside to the 14 in Earth Symbol. Outside it is Sing Like Bird. And last of all in the QE2 as they go down the back is the outsider Sunray Jasper. Kicking away here at the top, TM Procure, shades of last year, but not quite out as far out as last year. Leads by 7. Running second, Seraphic Romp. Third is Brightia Pulse. These other jockeys would really want to get a hurry on. TM Procure's no bad thing when it comes to running straight out along this straight. Running along the inside fourth at the moment is Columbus Circle. Starting to come into it now is Little Amapola. Then comes Apapane, followed by Ave. Snow Ferry continues to track Apapane. Then a gap to Saint-Emilion. Meisho Beluga still well back. A lot to do from there. Then Animate Bio along the inside. Reginetta well back. Mood Indigo. A gap further back to Sing Like Bird. Hikaru Manthus, Sunray Jasper and Earth Symbol. They've almost caught TM Procure. Here comes running on nicely now is the Seraphic Romp. They get down with 200 metres to run. Look at this Snow Ferry along the fence with Ryan Moore. He's burst to the lead on Snow Ferry. What a year for this beautiful filly. She races clear. Meisho Beluga late, but it's Snow Ferry's day. Ryan Moore, Meisho Beluga got second, tight for third.
This was probably one of the most dominating performances by a filly this year as Snow Ferry draws clear to win off easily from Meisho Beluga, who is a multiple Group 1 mare, and Apapane, another very nice 3-year-old filly, completing the order of the top 3. Amongst those defeated in here, Little Amapola, a very, very serious filly, as well as Mood Indigo. This was a really nice field of fillies and mares, and Snow Ferry just walked away from a very good group of horses here. You may remember her from a couple of the earlier editions of the International HNC this year. She is Europe's top 3-year-old filly, having won the Investec Oaks as well as the Irish Oaks. A very impressive performance here as she heads to Asia to score in Group 1 company. Snow Ferry is a bay 3-year-old daughter of Intikab from Woodland Dream by Charnwood Forest, bred by Windflower Overseas Holding, owned by Anna Moyne Limited, trained by Ed Dunlop and ridden to victory by Ryan Moore. Now at 12 starts and 5 wins, Snow Ferry completes the about distance of 1 mile and 3 furlongs in 2:12.50. Next up, we'll head right back to Kyoto Racecourse, the 21st of November, the running of the Group 1 Mile Championship.
Stand by. Just about set. And they're racing in the Mile Championship. Quickly away, TM Aurora and Joe Cappuccino, as expected, goes straight to the lead. They settle down after the first 100, and it's Joe Cappuccino leading the way from Minor Falcon. Smile Jack up along the fence, a bit handier than usual. Along the fence there is a live concert. Not too far away is Garbo. TM Aurora's up there with Oken Sakura. Then 2 lengths back to Aishin forward. Another length and a half further away is Gorski. Then comes Wild Raspberry. Koei Storm out outside in. Back on the fence to Showa Modern. Outside Showa Modern is Kinshasa no Kaseki. Then Absolute Suppressor. This favourite Danon Yo-Yo is third last. Back on the inside is Fine Grain and one obscured on the outside of Danon Yo-Yo. At the moment, they get down with 800 metres to run. It's Joe Cappuccino showing the way from Minor Falque. Running third is Smile Jack. Then comes Garbo. A gap further back to TM Aurora. Along the inside, Live Concert. Then Oken Sakura. Getting handier now is Gorski. Along the inside, losing grab Aishin forward. Kinshasa no Kaseki. He pulls out on that line. Walk yellow, strong losing. And Yo-Yo still a lot to do. Second last as they get down with 400 metres to run. Joe Cappuccino joined by Garbo. Right around running on now is TM Aurora. Yo-Yo chimes in with also Suppressor. It's down Yo-Yo in the inside. Red horse, Aishin forward from down Yo-Yo. Tight maybe Gorski. Out wide Suppressor. Then a gap back to Live Concert. Smile Jack knocked up. Gap to Fine.
Aishin Forward picks up the 52-1 outsider victory over Danon Yo-Yo with Gorski back in the third spot. A race that really features some kind of strange anomalies in the betting, although 52-1 I think was probably a fair price on Aishin Forward, who had run a couple of good races in the spring and tailed off, came back with a disappointing performance in his prep race for this, but picked up the victory nonetheless in very impressive time. In fact, setting a new stakes record in the process. Aishin Forward, an interesting horse because he's got a local connection, interestingly enough. He is a 5-year-old base on a Forest Wildcat from Wake Up Kiss by Cure the Blues, bred in New York by Edition Farm, owned by the Aishindo Company Limited, trained by Masato Nishizono, and ridden to victory only 2 weeks off of a pretty serious injury by Yasunari Iwata. This horse was sold for $290,000 at Phasing Tipton in 2007 as a 2-year-old in training. Obviously has gone on to very good things in Asia. Of course, you may remember Wake Up Kiss, a very nice turf mare here in New York. I believe she was a New York bred herself and has produced some pretty nice runners, including Aishin Forward, who is now a Group 1 winner against very salty company in Tokyo. Aishin Forward covers the about distance of a mile in a new stakes record time of 1:31.80. We'll continue with racing action from Japan. We'll head to Tokyo Racecourse, Halloween afternoon, and the running of the Tenno Show Autumn.
Aliseo loads up, they're ready. Stand by for the Tenno Show. Racing, away they go, and Palooza missed the kick straight out the back. Commencing well was Oken Sakura with Aishin Apollon. Showa Modern a little slow away. There goes Silport forward, and earnestly up there nice and handy with Aliseo, who got over brilliantly from gate 18. Then comes Smile in the middle. Yamanin Kingley pressing forward out wide. Cosmo Phantom along the fence. Aishin Apollon. Then trapped out a little wide, caught a little wide there with its head in the air is now Aliseo. Inside it is Buena Vista midfield, then Shingen, Never Bouchon, Showa Modern going backwards. Along its outside is Jaguar Mail, a gap to Tosho Shiroko, then comes Super Hornet, Palooza, and Axion is last. Down the back straight here at the Fuchu course, approaching the 1200 metre mark, and Silport leads the way. Pressing up into second is Aliseo now. Then Captain Tule on its inside, Oken Sakura. A little wider, Cosmo Phantom. Along the fence is Smile Jack earnestly in the middle. Aliseo trapped out wide, but starting to go on. Along the fence is Buena Vista. In the middle, Yamanin Kingley. Then a further gap to Never Bouchon. Aishin Apollon. Jaguar Mail still well back. With runners on its outside, Shingen, a gap further back to Super Hornet. Then comes Showa Modern. Second last is Palooza, and last is still Axion. One further back there and making up some ground, in fact, is Shingen. They get to the top of the straight. They still have to catch Silport. Silport leads the way from Aishin Apollon. Captain Tule still there. Can he run the 2,000 metres? Running on is Buena Vista. In the middle of the track, earnestly. Here comes Buena Vista and earnestly. They look the biggest threats. Along the fence, Aishin Apollon almost put over the fence by Jaguar Mail, and Jaguar Mail almost put over the fence by Silport. Here goes Buena Vista. Buena Vista strikes the front. It looks to be her race. It looks well and truly over. Late on the scene is Palooza jumping out of the ground with earnestly, but Buena Vista scores by 2.5. Palooza second, earnestly third. Then came Oken Sakura. Gap further back. who made up good ground late.
One of the big races of the year for the older horses, and it was a very exciting run by Buena Vista, who has been just such an impressive horse over the course of her career. She's 8 for 15 lifetime, never out of the money, almost exclusively in top Group 1 company, and here she picks up her 5th Group 1 win over the 3-year-old colt Palooza, with Earnestly, a 5-year-old horse, a son of Grass Wonder, completing the order of the top 3. The winner, Buena Vista, is a 4-year-old dark bay or brown filly, a daughter of Special Week, who won this race as a 4-year-old while he was racing, and they are the first combination of a sire and daughter to win this race in the history of the event, out of Biwa Heidi by Kerleon. Buena Vista was bred in Japan by Northern Racing and is owned by Sunday Racing Company Limited, trained by Hiroyoshi Matsuda and ridden to victory by Christophe Soumillon. Buena Vista covers the about distance of 1¼ miles in 158.20. We will head right back to Tokyo now, and on the 28th of November, they ran the Japan Cup.
Be ready. Stand by. Just about set. Racing in the 30th Japan Cup. Palooza, as expected, straight out the back door. Let's see what takes up an early lead. Shingen goes on, as does Asian Flash. Rose Kingdom's up there handy as well, and 50 Proof comes over from an outside gate. Taking the lead past the winning post the first time, it's Shingen, the outsider, one of the outsiders in the Japanese force. Goes on, leads from Rose Kingdom. Asian Flash handy. 50 Proof out wide, trying to get in with some cover, but it'll have to go on. Nakayama Fest is up there nice and handy. Rose Kingdom, Voila Ishii. Then comes Moore's Wells with Timos. Trapped out a little wide is Maranus, then Meisho Beluga. A gap further back to Joshua Tree and Dandino. Then a length and a half further back to Buena Vista. She settled in the last third of the field. On the inside is Jaguar Male. On its outside, moving on now, is Shiras Dezagul. And the last of the runners going down the back straight is Palooza. They approach the 1400 metre mark, not too far away from it, and Shingen leads the way by 2.5 lengths in a fairly moderate place of 1:01, a minute 1 for the first 1,000 metres. Running second is Victor Pisa. Out there trapped wide is 50 Proof. Asian Flash as the pace is fairly slow. Then Voila Ishii. Nakayama Fest has had a cushy run. Then comes Rose Kingdom. Fairly nice and handy there. It's tucked along the fence is Joshua Tree. A little wide out there and starting to move on is Meisho Beluga. In there is Moore's Wells. A gap on the inside, running third at the moment is Dandino, starting to pick them up. Where's this favourite? Buena Vista. She started to peel out and run on now, going past Timos. A gap back to, on the inside, Jaguar Male. On its outside, starting to pick them up is Shiras Dezagul, and Palooza is still last. 700 metres to run in the Japan Cup. And it's Shingen, one of the roughies from Victoire Pisa. Dandy Proof not too far away with Nakayama Festa. Meisho Beluga the fence. Rose Kingdom is in there behind them. 50 Proof losing ground. And here comes Buena Vista running on. Oken Bruce Lee as well. There was one that was covered outside but not sighted. Meisho Beluga running on. And Jaguar Male, the widest runner, starting to really storm home. But Victoire Pisa has found it. Here comes Buena Vista. Buena Vista and Victoire Pisa. Buena Vista and Victoire Pisa. Jaguar Male late. Rose Kingdom there as well, but it's Buena Vista, her 6th Group 1 success. It's going to be tight for second. Maybe Rose Kingdom from Victoire Pisa. Jaguar Male got 4th.
It was a controversial finish, and that was, of course, Buena Vista picking up the victory. She was, unfortunately for connections, disqualified from the win after having caused some interference, particularly with Rose Kingdom towards the end of the race, but it was also noted by the stewards. There were a couple of other incidents during the race as well. So Buena Vista, unfortunately, losing the top spot in this race, but certainly not losing much in the eyes of the racing fans and the betting public, because she has continued to be an outstanding filly. In the meantime, Rose Kingdom is moved up to the top spot. This is a horse that we have seen on the program before. He was second in the Japanese Derby in St. Leger, a 3-year-old picking up the official victory here over some pretty nice older horses, of course, including the official win over Buena Vista, as well as Jaguar Male. Another nice horse, Meisho Beluga, the 5-year-old mare who ran a good second to Snow Fairy, also back in this spot. Rose Kingdom is a 3-year-old son of King Kamehameha from Rosebud by Sunday Silence, bred by the Northern Farm, owned by Sunday Racing, which of course also owns Buena Vista. They are a partnership operation, so I'm not sure if it's necessarily the exact same individuals involved. Trained by Kojiro Hashiguchi and ridden to victory by Yutaka Taki. Rose Kingdom's career record stands at 9 starts and 5 wins following this very nice performance. Looks like a possible rematch in the Erin McKinnon at the end of December might be in the offing between these two horses, as Rose Kingdom covers the about distance of 1.5 miles in 2:25.20. One more race to bring to you from Japan. We will head next to Hanshin Racecourse, December 5th, hosting the Japan Cup Dirt.
1,800 metres ahead of them in the Japan Cup Dirt. The 11th running standby. Racing in the Japan Cup Dirt, and Aliseo blew the start straight out the back. Marika Schenk slow away, as well Silk Mobius. But there goes Transcend going to an early lead. Birdie shows pace, and Daishin Orange also booting up. But Transcend using early speed goes past the winning post the first time to lead them. Will probably slow them down. Moving up quickly, La Verita just into 3rd place behind them. Trapped out wide is Birdie, or running second is Birdie. Along the fence is La Verita, then Daishin Orange, a gap back to King's Emblem, fairly handy. Vermilion not too far away with Admire Subaru, and Oro Meister up 3 wide in midfield. Then a gap back to Courier Passion on its inside, Tosen Bright, Glorious Noah outside it, Aliseo then. On the inside, Silk Mobius, a gap to Daisho Jet, second last, Marika Schenk, and Makani Bisti past the 1,000 metres is last of all. Up the rise they go, leading the way is Transcend, slowed them up. Running second is Birdie. Along the inside is La Verita. Daishin Orange up running third now. Then Admire Subaru, the fence outside it. Moving on now is Automeister, and trapped back on the fence is King's Emblem. Daisho Jet coming into it. Glorious Noah there. Vermilion losing ground going back through the field. Aliseo looks to be under pressure. Now Silk Mobius peels out 4 wide. Going with it along the inside, trying to pick them up is Tosen Jet. Makani Bisti wide, and Marika Schenk is last of all. They get down with 400 to run, and it's Transcend and Birdie. Just in behind them, Daishin Orange. Whacking away is La Verita. Running on is Glorious Noah, but it's still Transcend. Birdie's not too far away. Transcend, Birdie. Nothing coming back from in Glorious Noah. It's Transcend. Here comes Glorious Noah, and late Admire Subaru. It's Transcend and Glorious Noah. Transcend scores. Transcend from Glorious Noah, tight for third between Admire Subaru and Birdie.
Transcend picks up the victory in a race that unfortunately didn't have as much international competition as might have been expected. We've seen horses like Tisway heading over there, and Lord Sterling Fleet Street Dancer won this race as well. But this year, not a lot of American participation or out of non-Japanese participation. Nonetheless, a nice performance by Transcend as he picks up the victory over Glorious Noah with Admire Subaru back in the 3rd spot. This was his first Group 1 victory as he goes gate to wire off of a win last month in the Group 3 Miyako Stakes. Transcend is a 4-year-old bay son of Wild Rush from CinemaScope by Tony Bin, bred by North Hills Management and owned by Koji Maeda. Trained by Takayuki Yasuda and ridden to victory by Shinji Fujita, Transcend runs his record to 7 wins and 14 starts with a win at the about distance of 9 furlongs and 148.90. We'll pause for one more brief message. When we return, we will be heading to Sha Tin Racecourse for some terrific racing action in the Hong Kong Cathay Pacific races. Please stay with us. Welcome back to International Horses and Courses. We will head now to Sha Tin Racecourse in Hong Kong. Terrific racing action in the Cathay Pacific Hong Kong races at the beginning of December. We'll start things out with the Cathay Pacific Hong Kong Vase at the about distance of 1.5 miles.
And they're all in. The crowd give them a roar for the start here of the Cathay Pacific Hong Kong Vase, and away they go. Mastery wasn't great out in the early part and being ridden up. Redwood goes back and towards the rails, and Mighty High jumped very quickly near the rails. Mastery musters, but wide out Crystal Capella's accelerating under a hold. Viva Pitaka's going forward. Then came Board Meeting from Winchester, King Dancer, Redwood down on the rails. 1.5 lengths then to American from Mr. Medici. Jaguar Male, Indian Days, Jackalbury getting close to heels of Mr. Medici's last. Mighty High in front, so no surprises there. And Crystal Capella's pulling for Ryan Moore in second. Mastery slides along the rails to get a nice run in third. 3 back the paint, Redwood, and Viva Pitaka gets across into a trailing position. Same can't be said for Winchester though, with White just holding a position 1 off the fence on King Dancer. 1 length then to American from Board Meeting. 1 length then to Jaguar Male from Indian Days. Mr. Medici's caught 3 wide going to the back, and 1.5 lengths to Jackalbury, who settles at the rear of the field. Mighty High is loafing along in the lead for Jeff Lloyd, doing it as his leisure as Lloyd has a peep across the shoulder. He sees Crystal Capella just sits up in second and gets closer as Lloyd just put the brakes a bit on Mighty High. Mastery got close to heels. Winchester strides up 3 deep around Viva Pitaka and Redwood over on the fence. American with clear galloping room now in a 1-off position on the outside of King Dancer as American starts a run 3 wide, getting onto the back of Winchester. Further back to Jaguar Male on the fence from Board Meeting, Indian Days, Mr. Medici and Jackalbury as last as they race down the back section of the course. 900 metres to run. Mighty High out by 1.5 lengths to Crystal Capella is right up on the bridle at the 800 metres. Mastery in third from Winchester, then Viva Pitaka. Redwood just being urged along by Michael Hills on the fence. Gerald sits pretty quietly, and American for the time being. He's still 3 wide with cover. Then King Dancer who travels. Mr. Medici called upon from Indian Days. Jaguar Male's in an awkward spot from Board Meeting, and last is Jackalbury as they round the corner, and Frankie's off the fence now, and Mastery looms up on the outside of Mighty High. Redwood's into the clear. He runs on resolutely. Then King Dancer. American's winding up, but he's got many lengths to make up as Mastery storms to the front. Mastery kicks away from Redwood. American's running to third, but it's Mastery clear. Redwood, he's trying hard but making no impression. American going into third, but it's Frankie Dettori at his absolute best on Mastery. Mastery absolutely bolts in for Godolphin. Beats up Redwood and American.
Mastery picks up the victory. A nice effort by this guy who, a 4-year-old lightly raced horse, won the St. Leger and the Italian Derby last year for the Godolphin and Darley operation. He was bred by Darley, owned by Godolphin, and now looks like he will be pointed for the Shima Classic during the and a run through the, I would imagine, through the Racing Carnival in Dubai, culminating with the Shima Classic on the undercard of the World Cup. Redwood, a nice effort to finish in the 2nd spot. This horse won the Northern Dancer at Woodbine about 2 months ago, and obviously looks to be a horse worth keeping your eye on the international scene. That was American coming in off of his Melbourne Cup win and running a pretty solid race to finish in the 3rd spot. Jaguar Male, another familiar face on the international scene, running in the 4th spot. Little disappointing, maybe a little bit over the top, was Viva Pitaka, a horse that has been a long-standing performer in Hong Kong. Winchester finishing 3rd to the last spot. A little disappointing was Winchester, who raced in good position under Olivier Pellier in the early going before fading. There was some question about his shifting out a little bit in the early going and perhaps causing a little bit of trouble, but it was not. But no action was taken by the stewards. The winner, Mastery, looks to be a horse to keep our eye on over the course of the wintertime as we head into Dubai for the Godolphin operation, ridden to victory by Frankie Dettori. Covers the about distance of 1.5 miles in 2:27.69. Next up, some of the world's fastest horses in the Cathay Pacific Hong Kong Sprint.
To send them off here in the Cathay Pacific Sprint, and they're racing. Lucky 9 taken back, and One World has really overdone it. He settles 4 lengths last. And Dim Sum, Rocket Man and Ultra Fantasy have all jumped well. JJ the Jet Plane to 4th, Sacred Kingdom 5th. Let Me Fight improving his position from Kingsgate Native. Then Hortensia. Cerise Cherry goes forward 3 deep. A length further back to Little Bridge. Green Birdie, Joy and Fun. Then Lucky 9 being urged along, and 2 out the back to One World, who stands them a huge start today. And it's the stablemate Dim Sum tearing along in the lead by a length and a half to Ultra Fantasy. Rocket Man in striking distance third. JJ the Jet Plane, Sacred Kingdom next, with Sacred Kingdom in a pocket for the moment. Then Let Me Fight, Cerise Cherry, Kingsgate Native, and a long break to Green Birdie and Lucky 9 as they straighten up. And Dim Sum is the leader from Ultra Fantasy. Rocket Man's charging at them, so's JJ the Jet Plane. Sacred Kingdom back towards the rails, has got work to do, but he's digging in now. The champ Sacred Kingdom, he's going after Rocket Man and JJ the Jet Plane. Rocket Man in front, JJ, he won't go away. JJ lunges at Rocket Man and JJ the Jet Plane.
JJ the Jet Plane, another horse that I do remember from the Dubai Carnival. They tried him on the dirt to no avail, right back onto the turf, and it looks like that is his best spot as he scores the victory over Rocket Man with the very highly rated Sacred Kingdom back in the 3rd spot. And I can't help but feel a little bit bad for Rocket Man and his connections. He has lost 3 or 4 now consecutive major Group 1 international class races, and the total margin of victory in a row, the total margin of victory is probably about a half a length. He just has struggled just to get his nose down at the right time. But here he takes JJ to the Jet Plane to his very best performance to score as he returns victorious in Hong Kong. JJ the Jet Plane, a South African-bred son of Jet Master from Majestic Guest by Northern Guest. 3x3 inbred to Northern Dancer, very close inbreeding there. Was bred in South Africa by Mrs. P.J. Devine and is trained by Michael Haikidakis, ridden to victory by Pierre Stridham. JJ the Jet Plane covers the about distance of 6 in 108.84. Next up, it is Turf Milers in the Cathay Pacific Hong Kong Mile.
We're ready to run. Here we go. Minus Able 1. And they're off and racing in the Cathay Pacific Hong Kong Mile. And Beethoven immediately taken back with Dream Eater, and Royal Bench gets back in the early part. And Paco Boy's being snagged back by Ryan Moore. He'll settle 3rd last. Sight Winner got the best of the start from Beauty Flash, and it's Sight Winner a half length to Beauty Flash. Chodaways on the bridle, up on the speed together with Raj's Man, and a shin forward caught 3 wide in the early part. Then Fellowship from Thumbs Up, Surpresa. She's in a 3 wide position without cover. Further back to Beethoven on the outside of Dream Eater. Good Bar Paco Boy. It looks as though he's 4 wide going into the first bend, and the French colt Royal Bench is taken back to last. Into the first turn, and Sight Winner in a very leisurely run race. It's Sight Winner a length clear from Beauty Flash and Shade Away. Getting a lovely run, Raj's Man 4th, 1 out, 1 back. Then Fellowship the rails on the inside of a shin forward. Then came off the course to Sarpresa, having no luck. Dream Eater the fence from Thumbs Up. Good Bars pulling wider on the course from Beethoven. And the last 2 are Royal Bench and Paco Boy, who's very deep around the corner, and he's getting onto the back of Good Bar as they turn. Sight Winner in front from Beauty Flash, Shade Away. Raj's Man, Surpresa, is being cuddled here, being called upon now by Lemire. Thumbs Up's into the clear. Wider out Good Bar. Royal Bench and Paco Boy will have to be good to win from there. It's Beauty Flash the leader. Under siege though as the mare Surpresa races up. Beauty Flash still in front from Surpresa. Raj's Man and Royal Bench, but Beauty Flash in front, and Beauty Flash takes out the mile from Royal Bench, who got up to run 2nd in front of Raj's Man and a shin forward.
Beauty Flash picks up the victory, a horse that we've seen in a number of fairly competitive races, both in Hong Kong and elsewhere. He scores the victory over Royal Bench with Safresa back in the 3rd spot. That was Ashin Forward, part of a dead heat for the 4th spot. Another nice performance by Ashin Forward, again against some of the top international competition. When you're finishing in front of horses like Good Baba and Fellowship, you're doing fairly well. Unfortunately, the race was marred by a couple of situations, one of which was Paco Boy's almost non-performance. Paco Boy, it was announced, has been retired following the race. A veterinary inspection did not show any significant findings, but they have decided that they are in fact going to retire him. Also, at the arrival at the starting gate, it was decided that Able One would be scratched as a veterinary precaution because the vets didn't feel that he was in fine form to perform. Another interesting note there: he was the favorite at that time, so obviously that did shift things about just a little bit in terms of the betting. The winner, Beauty Flash, is a 5-year-old chestnut gelded son of Golan from Witchwood Rose, bred in New Zealand by Windsor Park Stud and owned by Kwok Siu Ming, trained by Tony Cruz, ridden to victory by Gerald Moss. Possible candidate for racing action in Dubai and Japan, as an overseas campaign is being pondered for Beauty Flash, who scored the about distance of a mile in 1:34.79. We'll wrap things up by heading right back to Sha Tin in another terrific performance, this time the Cathay Pacific Hong Kong Cup at the about distance of 1 1/4 miles.
Racing. And there's a lovely line out of the gates. Plonteur taken back, Glass Harmonium likewise. Packing winner Super Pistachio jumped well, and so did Cirrus de Zeg and Stace Leader from deep out, and Packing winner's got the advantage of the rails. Cirrus de Zeg moves up the outside of Stace Leader, and Super Pistachio drops in to enjoy the box seat position early. Frankie's got Plonteur into a nice spot on the outside of Super Saturn. A length further back to Erie, and then Straputra on the fence is over racing. A length and a half then to Collection, who switches off. 2 further back to Vision Tatar, Glass Harmonium, Snow Fairy with 1 behind her being Regan as they work to the back of the course. And it's Packing winner the leader at the 1,300 metres by 3/4 to Cirrus de Zeg, who's got across nicely this year. Tucked in third, Super Pistachio. 4 Stace leader a touch keener. So Super Saturn blinkered for the second time, followed by Plonteur the other. A length then to Straputra on the inside of Irian. 2 further back to Collection, Glass Harmonium, Vision Tatar, Snow Fairy, and last of all is Regan as they work down the back of the course, and it's Packing winner striding along at his own pace, out by a length to Cirrus de Zeg, Super Pistachio, then Stace leader, followed by Super Saturn and Plonteur in striking distance. A half length to Straputra the rails, 2 further back to Irian, then Glass Harmonium, Collection. There shouldn't be any hard luck stories this year. He's got plenty of galloping room, and he's got Vision Tatar a length behind him and in a pocket as they travel to the turn. Snow Fairy's hugging the rails, and a length off to Regan as they turn. Vision Tatar out into the open now as they turn. Packing winner in front from Cirrus de Zeg. Super Pistachio comes off from Stace Leader. Super Saturn's looking for a run. Irian runs on with purpose together with Plonteur. Snow Fairy's angling into the clear, and the fillies cutting loose. Collection and Vision Tatar are next. It's anybody's race, and Irian hits the lead with Snow Fairy gunning it down. Snow Fairy races up to Irian. What a stellar season for the British 3-year-old filly. Snow Fairy blouses out Irian. Packing winner ran a cheeky race, then Plonteur and Vision Tatar. Super Saturn a touch.
It's just nice to be able to enjoy watching Snow Fairy. She really is a fabulous, fabulous filly, and I was so pleased to read following this race that she is in fact being pointed at a return at the age of 4. Here she looked absolutely hopelessly beaten when they turned for home. Fortunately, a nice long stretch helped get her there, but Snow Fairy had to split horses and go up and engage Irian, who did have a little bit better of the trip. Packing winner down on the inside just gets his nose down on the wire in the third spot as Vision d'Etat, another major international horse, completes the order of the top 4. And again, there's some pretty nice horses in there. Group 1 winners, Collection, Stace Leader, Regan is Group 1 placed, Super Pistachio, a Group 1 horse as well. So a very serious group of horses that Snow Fairy breaking on the a little bit on the alert side, but dropping back and making that tremendous run that she has, of course, off the wins in the English and Irish Oaks, the QE2 Commemorative Cup at Kyoto, and then this stunning performance at the end of the year. This is a very impressive 3-year-old filly, and I'm very pleased to know that Ed Dunlop is going to be bringing her back. Snow Fairy was bred in Ireland by Windflower Overseas Holdings. She's a daughter of Intikab from Woodland Dream by Charnwood Forest, owned by the Anamoine Limited, trained by Ed Dunlop, and ridden to victory by Ryan Moore. Snow Fairy covers the about distance of 1 1/4 miles in 2:02.96. That'll round out another very exciting edition of International Horses and Courses. Thank you for joining us this week. We do hope you'll be able to join us for our next edition of International H&C. It should be a couple of months away, and we'll certainly let you know via our television network and, of course, at capitalotb.com. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here next time.